Okay, so today we're doing 912. We're going to look at volumes, and we're going to also be looking at surface areas. And volumes, if you think about it, volume is the number of cubes, which is what's inside. And if you like baking, we're going to say that's the actual shape of the cake. And then if we look at surface area, that is the outside. It's the area of the surfaces. So that's the outside. And think about that as kind of the frosting on your cake, otherwise known as, or it's if you had to paint it. So we got the frosting and the cake. And it gets a little tricky because you got to remember too, a lot of times we are, unfortunately, with the surface area, we're going to be painting or frosting the top, the bottom, and all sides, unless the problem calls for it. So that's where it can kind of get tricky. So if you catch me messing it and forgetting something like that, let me know, and you'll get a reward card. But we're also going to talk about this thing, which is called a prism, which is just a nice solid shape. So here we go. So here we have Heidi's solid with the front, top, and right view shown. Front, top, and right. Once again, we got the front, the top, and the right view of her solid. And our job is to build it and then figure out the volume. And then she dropped it in paint. How much of it would be covered in paint? So we're going to be frosting our cake on the top and the bottom and all the sides. It's a glop of cake. But anyway, let's give this a shot and see what we can get to. Okay, so here we are, and we're going to build our top view, front view, and side views. So the front view, we know we got to have 2 from the front on the left, and we got to have 3 somewhere. So I'm just going to stick it in the middle, just for fun. And then we got to have another 2 somewhere. So I'm going to put a 2 here, just for giggles, and let's see if that matches our front. So our front matches. Then our right side looks like that, so apparently we got a hidden cube. So we need to have a 1, so I'm just going to shove it here. And then we got to check and see with our top, right, and let's match it up. So there's our front, golden. There's our right, golden. There's our top, not quite. So apparently we're missing a cube somewhere, and we apparently are slightly turned. So let's just keep trying to build this thing around. So let's just throw 1 in here, and let's look at it again. There's our top view. So we're pretty close. Let's see if our top view matches. We're slightly oblong. So we need to somehow fill in these 2 here, keeping the same integrity of our overall shape. So let's see what we can do with that. So let's just kind of tear this down a little bit and we'll rebuild it. So I'm going to put 1 here and then I'm going to put 1 here. And I want to keep, we could probably get rid of that 1. I'm going to throw 3 here. And let's see, I guess we need 2 somewhere. So could we have 2 there? Let's see. Front view, right view, and top view. Let's take a look. Top view. Nope. So I'm going to move something isometrically. I'm going to move this 1. I'm going to put 1 here. I'm not going to move anything. And let's see if we can still match that. So let's put that there. Wait, that wasn't there. That was here. So let's take a look at that. Front, right, top. Woo! I'm going to move something over, and I think we're going to be good. Let's see what we can get it. Let's try this again. So I'm going to move this to here. So now let's look at the front, the right, and our top. So apparently I can get rid of something. I can get rid of that. Let's see if that works. Front, right, top. I'm going to take this, I want to put it here. So let's check that again. Let's put one here. Let's see if that's what we got. Front, right, top. I'm going to take that one out. I've got to take one out from somewhere in the back, probably. Let's see if that works. Front, right, top. Done. All right, so just to let you know, we've got a couple that are hidden there, so let's just kind of, I'm going to copy this, so that's what we got so we can see it. And I'll put it in the presentation. You take some time and sketch. Okay, so now we got to figure out this volume of the cube. In other words, just how many cubes. So our volume is just the number of cubes. And apparently we've got 2 here, 2 cubes here. We got 1 here, 1 here. We got 3 cubes here. And here we got 2 cubes. So if we add that up, we got 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 4, which is 9. So the volume is going to be 9 units cubed. So that part's done. Then Heidi goes and gets all klutzy and drops it in the paint. Now this is kind of the more difficult part, but if you've got that 3D animation thing set up, you can actually look at how many surfaces you're actually painting. So remember, we've got a top and a bottom, and we got all the sides. So that's what you want to remember regarding surface area. You got the top, you got the bottom, and you got all the sides. Yep, that looks good. And you got all the sides. Now the good part is the top and bottom, they're the same. So we just really got 2 times whatever is going to be called that. We'll call it the big base, or that base area. So let's look and see what we got. So if we look at this, we got the top view, and we got 2 of these. So we've obviously got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 tops, so there's also 5 bottoms. So that becomes 2 times 5 for the top and the bottom. So that's our arrangement here for the top. That's our top. Then we've got our front view, and which is looking at this. We've got in the front. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm not sure if there's going to be 2 of those or not because the shape, unfortunately, isn't the same all the way around. So we're going to actually have to start looking at this really carefully. But if you do look at it, we know that we've got all of these sides here are going to get painted. So we know we've got, for this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 that we can see looking at it like that. So we know we've got those 15. So now we've got 15 for, we'll say, the front right. The front right view, we've got 15 little squares. And then if we can spin this thing around and look at the kind of the back right side, then we've got this here. And we're going to ignore the top and bottom because we've already done that. Let me check this front right again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We've already counted the top and the bottom, so that's not. So we're going to take off 11, 12. So we're not doing the top and bottom because this is already covered by the red part. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the front right is 12. Then if we spin this thing around, take another look at it from this side, like this, okay, we've got, these have already been counted, and these have already been counted. Okay, so now we just got to bring in 1, 2. Now we're just going to bring in, so these were already counted with blue. Okay, and the red ones were already counted with the top. So we've got all the tops already counted. So let's just look at this now. And we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to call that whatever the back, right? We got 8 plus our other side here, which is this side, which we haven't even gotten to yet. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we've got 6, which apparently is 14. So if we take all these and we add them up, this is going to be 10. We got 10 plus 12 plus 14, which includes the bottom and the top. So we got 10 plus 12 plus 14. So let's take another look at this, just so we didn't miss anything. So we're going to just start spinning this thing around. So here's our top, which is 5 times 2, even though it doesn't show up there. So we got 2 of the tops, because the top and the bottom are the same. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2, which is 10. Check. Then we just start looking at the sides. So if we look at this side here, we've got 7. Let's just take a check. So that's 7. And let's spin it again. 7 plus, looks like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 7 plus 6. Spin it again. We're painting those, which is another 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 2 7s, that's our 14. And then we go this side and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's our 6. So we got another 6. And that's our 12. And we've already done the front, which is 7. So we got 7 from this side, 7 from this side, 6, and 6, which is 12. So 10 plus 12 plus 14. Cool? Okay, so we go back to this, and we end up with, for the surface area of this, we got 2 of the tops, and the tops were 2 5s. So we had 2 of those 5s, we had 2 of those 6 sides, plus 2 of those 7 sides, which ended up being 10 plus 12 plus 14. And that's going to be 36. 36 units, and that's the surface area, which is squared. Check my work if it's wrong, but I'm going to stick with that for now for the purposes of it, because we got to move on. So now, so bottom line is, that's the surface area. So now, we got this shape here, and it's a prism, and we are given a net, and the gray area is what we're going to just call the base of the whole thing. And a prism is kind of dope because it's a solid, it's a nice looking cake. So we're now going to work on building that. And we know that we got this. That's our base. Okay, that's what it looks like. And we know it was 3 high. So if we look at this isometrically, We got our front view, our right view, and our top view. And there's two of each of those. There's two fronts, there's two rights, and there's two tops because of this. Front, right, back, left, top, and the bottom's going to look just like the top. So that's our shape. So if we're going to look at this, I'm just going to take the base writing out of there and just go like this. That's our base. So the volume is nothing more than all the number of cubes. And we know that we've got 6 cubes on our base. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it is 3 high. 3 high. So if we look at 3 of those 6s, that's going to be 18. So if we can kind of make sense of this. Okay, so we've got the area of that base. We got the area of the base. We're going to look at times the height. Now, a lot of folks will probably say, well, wait a minute. This is 3 here, this is 2 here, and then this is 3 here. So that's 18 as well. 3 times 2 times 3. So if you take the area of the base, which is probably the what we'll call the length, times the width, times the height, we get our volume, length times width times height, which is what everybody's familiar with. So not to quite confuse things, that just becomes 3 times 2 times 3, which is equal to 18 units cubed. So that's our volume. Now if we're going to look at surface area, that is the paint if we painted the whole thing. Here, let's do this for you. There we go. So the surface area is painting all the surfaces, top, bottom, side, 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 side. So top, bottom, front, back, right, left. So we've got top, bottom, which are the same, which is nice. We've got front and back, which are also the same because it's a nice prism. And then we've got the right and also the left, which are also the same. So if we can find one of the either top or bottom, front or back, right or left, we can very simply use that idea. So the top is 6. It's 6. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's 2 of those. So we got 2 times 6. We have 2 times that 6. Then, if we take the front, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is 3 by 3. So we got 2 of that 9. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the right, and we got 2 of those, so we got another 2 times 6. So if we take all those and put them together, we get our surface area. So really what we end up with is we've got the 6, so we got 2 times the 6, plus 2 times the 9, plus another 2 times the 6. Well, 6 is just 2 times 3 times 2, plus 2 times 9 is 3 times 3, plus 2 times 6, which is 3 times 2. So what we really have is a combination of the length, the width, and the height combinations times 2. So we have 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the width times the height, plus 2 times the height times the length, or whatever it is you want to look at it. So this just becomes 12 plus 18 plus 12, and 18 plus 12, that's 30 plus 2, which is 42 units squared. And there we go. So that's how you find the surface area. So let's just double check this. This becomes 12, this is 18, and this is 12. So there you go. So that's the surface area. And surface area squared, volume is cubed, not a big deal. Okay, so now we've got this kind of mess. Paul built a tower by stacking 6 identical layers of the shape and on top of each other. So if we look at this, we have a surface area here of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's 7. So we got 7 of those. So there's 7 cubes. So the base area is 7, which is just this thing. So we got these 7 cubes, however they are. That's what we've got. So we got 7 of those. So that's our base area. And if you take that times however high it is, which is 7, we get the volume. So the base area, the height is not 7. The height is 6. You take that base area times the height. There we go. So the volume is equal to the area of the base, otherwise known as our base area, and we multiply that simply times the height, and that's what we get for our volume. So there we go. So since we have 7 cubes in the base area volume, whatever, 7 times the height, which is 6. So if we take 7 times 6, we get 42 units cubed, and that's our volume. Piece of cake. Volume. Okay, now the surface area is the area of all the surfaces. So we know we got front, back, left, right, top, bottom. So we're going to have 2 of each of those. So if we can just figure out what we're looking at, we're good to go. So if we keep looking at this, we got 7. So we know we got 2 of those 7s. So the surface area is going to be 2 times those 7 surfaces, plus we've got 1, 2, 3 from the front that we're looking at. That's 7. That's 6 high. So we got 3 of those, and it's 6 high looking at it. So 3. So that's going to be 6 times 3. And we got 2 of those. 2 of the 6 times 3, 6 times 3 is 18. And then here we go. Let's do this for you. 2 of the 3 times that height, which is 6. We're going to add to that the front side, which is the same as the back side. And there's 1, 2, 3 there. So we've got 2 times that 3 times the 6 high, which is another 18. Okay, so if we're looking at the surface area here again, so far that's what that's covered. Now we want to make sure we don't miss any pieces that aren't seen when you turn it around. And I can see 2 that we're going to miss. They're right in here. So we've got one side here and one side here, so we've got those 2. So we're going to have to add 2 to this. And then let's not forget that that 2 is also 6 high. And if you take your calculators, you're going to end up with 98 units squared. And that's the surface area. So a little bit of vocabulary. This is called a prism because it's a solid and two of its faces are called bases and congruent and parallel. So the big fact here, the bases are congruent and parallel. And the important part about those bases is that the shapes are named for the bases. And the other sides are called lateral faces, otherwise known as side faces. So that's just kind of a little vocabulary. But please remember that volume is equal to the area, otherwise known as the base area, times the height. And the surface area, you just got to look at it and make sure you're adding up all the sides. Top, bottom. So surface area. So surface area is the top and bottom areas plus the left and right areas plus the front and back areas. So now we've got a couple shapes here. We got three of them, not a couple. We got a trio of shapes. And we're going to be looking at finding the volume and surface area. So volume is the area of the base. And if we look at the base is the top or the bottom. And so that's this part, and we got 4 of these. And so we're going to have the area of the base here, so which would be 4. So we just take the base area, multiply it by the height, and we do that for each of these. So once again, the base area multiplied by the height of the thing, which in this case is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 5. So the volume for this, and that equals volume. And you can use that all the way across the board on this. So let's just get this set up. Okay. So, the area of the base is 4. The area of this base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the area of this base is 4 by 3, which is 12. And the height of this one is 5. The height of this one is 4. And the height of this one is 5. So 4 times 5, that's 20. So the volume for our first one is 20 units cubed. The volume of this one is 24 units cubed. And the volume here is 60 units cubed. Area of the base times the height. So that's volume. Now, when we get to the surface area, we know that we're going to have 2 of that 4. Plus, we're going to have 2 of these. So we have 1, 2, 3. Let's just look at this, left and right. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's get a different pen color. Purple. So we have 2 of those, which are 10. So we have 2 of those 10. Plus, we're also going to have 1, yikes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we got 2 times that 15. So you just start crunching the math on that and you'll get that. So here we are going to have, so this front, we're going to be looking at this white area, and then we'll go gray, 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 and then left, right, so anyway. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 3 of those. So that's 4 times 3, so we got, that's going to be 12. And then we've got, for our purple faces, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 2 of those because it's going to look the same from the other side. So we have 2 times that 12. And then we've got our base, which is 6. So we're going to have 2 times that 6, top and bottom. And then you add those up, and you'll get the surface area for that. And then over here, our basis is 12, and we're going to have 2 of those 12s, plus the area of this front is a 4 by 5, which is 20. So we're going to have 2 of those 20s. And then for our side on this one, it's 3 by 5, which is 15. So we have 2 of those 15s. So crunching some numbers, that just becomes 8 plus 20 plus 30, which is 58 units squared for surface area. And here we have 24 plus 24 plus 12, which is the same thing as apparently 12 times 5, which is going to be 60 units squared. And then here we've got 24 plus 40, plus 30, which is 70 plus 24, which is going to be 94 units squared. Surface area, surface area. Okay, so just kind of in summary with this, the volume is equal to the area of the base, or the base area, times the height, and the surface area is equal to the top and the bottom. So usually they're going to end up hopefully being the same. So we have 2 times the top plus 2 times the right plus 2 times the front, because you've got top and bottom, which are the same. You've got right and left, which are the same. And you've got front and back. In most cases, it's the same, usually. So all of this is usually. Usually, but be careful. So just be aware of any hidden ones that might be there. Okay, so volume and surface area. That's just a quick blush for it, but you can check it out yourself. If you find any errors, let me know. And so please also do not forget the review preview problems, because they will become your practice problem sets. Office hours are 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. during the week, so be aware and stay healthy.
Peace.